The future does not arrive quietly. It erupts from a single question whispered in the mind of someone who refused to accept the ordinary. Tomorrow's world is not forged by fate or accident, but by the restless pulse of curiosity alive today. Every towering invention, every shattered limitation, every rewritten rule of reality began as a moment of wonder that refused to sleep. Curiosity is the spark that dares the unknown to answer back, and in that daring, entire civilizations are reborn. Imagine a world where curiosity is treated not as a distraction, but as a sacred force. A place where questions are not silenced, but sharpened. Where children are taught not what to think, but how far their thinking can stretch. In such a world, progress is not delayed by fear, and innovation is not strangled by tradition. Curiosity becomes the engine that drives humanity forward, turning uncertainty into opportunity and imagination into architecture. Every great leap humanity has taken was born from someone asking, "What if?" when others said, "That's impossible." Curiosity cracked the earth to reveal electricity, bent metal into flight, and taught machines to learn. It stared into the night sky and refused to believe the stars were unreachable. It looked at illness and declared that suffering was not destiny. The world we live in today is already a museum of yesterday's curiosity, quietly reminding us that questions change everything. Tomorrow's cities will not be built only with steel and glass, but with ideas that once seemed foolish. Streets may glow with sustainable energy because someone was curious about the sun's endless generosity. Homes may heal their inhabitants because someone wondered if technology could listen to the human body. Transportation may feel like teleportation because curiosity refused to accept distance as a permanent obstacle. The skyline of the future will be shaped by minds brave enough to imagine differently. Curiosity does more than invent machines, it reinvents humanity itself. It challenges old beliefs, dismantles outdated systems, and demands better answers. It asks why inequality exists, why knowledge is restricted, and why potential is wasted. Through curiosity, societies evolve, empathy expands, and justice becomes more than an ideal. The future grows fairer not by chance, but by questions that refuse to ignore suffering. In the realm of technology, curiosity is the unseen architect behind artificial intelligence, quantum breakthroughs, and digital consciousness. These tools are not cold creations, they are reflections of our desire to understand, to enhance, to transcend. When curiosity guides technology, it does not replace humanity, it amplifies it. It becomes a partner in creation, extending human thought beyond biological limits and opening doors to realities once locked behind science fiction. Education in a curiosity-built world no longer feels like confinement. It becomes exploration. Classrooms transform into laboratories of imagination, where failure is not punished but studied, and creativity is valued as much as correctness. Learning becomes lifelong, fluid, and deeply personal. Knowledge stops being memorized and starts being experienced, shaping minds that are adaptable, resilient, and endlessly inventive. Curiosity also reshapes how humans connect with one another. It teaches us to listen before judging, to understand before reacting. When curiosity replaces assumption, conflict loses its grip. Cultures blend without erasing identity, and differences become sources of insight rather than division. A curious society does not fear diversity, it studies it, celebrates it, and grows stronger because of it. The economy of tomorrow will reward questions as much as answers. Jobs will no longer belong only to those who follow instructions, but to those who can imagine what doesn't yet exist. Creativity, adaptability, and problem-solving will become the most valuable currencies. Entire industries will rise from a single curious mind daring to challenge how things have always been done. Even time itself feels different in a world driven by curiosity. Progress accelerates, not because humanity rushes blindly forward, but because it learns faster, adapts quicker, and dreams bigger. Curiosity compresses decades into moments of insight. It transforms patience into persistence and turns experimentation into evolution. Yet curiosity is not loud or arrogant. It is humble. It admits what it does not know and finds power in that admission. It understands that certainty can be dangerous, and that growth begins where comfort ends. A curious world is not perfect, but it is alive, constantly questioning, constantly improving, constantly becoming. When curiosity is nurtured, fear loses its authority. The unknown stops being a threat and becomes an invitation. Instead of asking what could go wrong, humanity asks what could go right. This shift alone has the power to reshape destinies, turning hesitation into momentum and doubt into discovery. Tomorrow's world will not be built by those who wait for permission. It will be built by those who lean into wonder, who chase questions into the dark, and who trust that curiosity is not weakness, but strength. The future belongs to the minds that.
If tomorrow's world is extraordinary, it will be because today someone chose curiosity over comfort. Because someone dared to ask one more question when silence felt safer. Because humanity remembered that every revolution begins not with an answer, but with a spark of wonder. And that spark, alive today, is already building tomorrow. Curiosity will continue to redefine what it means to be human in ways we can barely comprehend today. As machines grow smarter and realities become more layered, curiosity will be the compass that keeps humanity aligned with purpose rather than power. It will ask not only what we can create, but why we should create it. In this balance between capability and conscience, the future remains humane, intentional, and deeply meaningful. The curious mind does not settle for survival alone, it seeks significance. It looks beyond convenience and asks how life can be richer, wiser, and more connected. In tomorrow's world, curiosity will guide breakthroughs in mental well-being, emotional intelligence, and inner peace. Humanity will begin to explore consciousness with the same intensity once reserved for outer space, discovering that the greatest frontier may lie within. Nature itself will become a partner in innovation, not a resource to be exhausted. Curiosity will inspire humans to observe ecosystems more closely, learning from their balance, efficiency, and resilience. Cities may breathe like forests, technology may mimic biology, and progress may finally align with preservation. The planet's healing will begin the moment humanity becomes curious enough to listen to the Earth's quiet intelligence. Leadership in a curiosity-driven world will no longer be defined by control, but by vision. True leaders will be those who ask the right questions and invite others to explore answers together. Power will shift from dominance to understanding, from command to collaboration. Societies will rise not under fear, but under shared wonder and collective imagination. Art, culture, and storytelling will also evolve under the influence of curiosity. Stories will no longer simply entertain, they will challenge perception, awaken empathy, and stretch the boundaries of thought. Music, film, and literature will merge with technology to create experiences that feel alive, immersive, and transformative. Creativity will become a language through which humanity speaks to its own future. Curiosity will blur the line between the impossible and the inevitable. Ideas once dismissed as fantasy will slowly become expectations. Human potential will expand not because limits vanished, but because curiosity refused to acknowledge them. In this world, innovation will not be rare, it will be continuous, flowing naturally from minds trained to question, explore, and imagine. And when future generations look back, they will not ask what technology we built or how fast we advance. They will ask whether we stayed curious enough to grow wisely. Whether we chose exploration over stagnation, wonder over fear, and questions over complacency. Because in the end, tomorrow's world will stand as a living monument to today's curiosity,